everybody, welcome to this week's H2KAKWS style video. So I chose this photo for this week, which is a heritage photo. I try to do them twice a month. Last month I only got one done, and I don't think I'm going to get more than one done this month. But I'm trying, so we'll see how it goes. I might get one more done, we'll see, but definitely this one. So this is my grandmother and her son, her adoptive brother, Bobby. And I do have a couple things I want to write about, so we're going to definitely have a bit of journaling on this one. I think it's going to be typed journaling. I haven't 100% decided that yet. This is the sketch I've chosen for this layout. Let's see if I can get it here for you. There you go. It's from Inspired Blueprints. Pretty easy sketch. A nice big box here for a title and journaling. And I'm going to start this layout with my stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and use just a white background, I believe. White cardstock. And then my plan is to go ahead and those floral pieces that come in here and in here, I'm going to use this Dilutions stamp set. And then I'm also going to layer behind the stamp set this watercolor bouquet stencil. So we'll have a stenciled coming in, and then over top of it I'm going to use one of these, probably this one. And I'm just going to stamp it a couple of times with some nice light green ink. So that is my plan for that. I also grabbed this doily because I thought perhaps we would use this as our area for the journaling, and then maybe layer some strips over, like the title up here, and then layer some strips. I went ahead and pulled out the Ellie Studio Title Builder stamp set from my kit. I'm thinking that I might be able to put some of these words together to create my title. If this doesn't work, I'll just dig into my kit and grab some thickers, but this is kind of my thought for now, that I'll just use this for my title. And then I got the cute little Watch Me Flip sequins. These are from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I decided I would use those as accents. And then there is just a little bit of pattern paper on this layout, or on this sketch. It's a very simple sketch, but I chose this basic gray paper from Mint Julep, and I might end up just going ahead and using both sides of this. I have this coppery mirrored cardstock, which I thought just would look really nice just as a little accent. And then the rest of this pink, and I did use some of this pink on last week's layout. So that's kind of my plan. I'm going to get started. I'm going to do, and I pulled two of the little flare out for embellishments. And I also pulled the felt hearts out. We'll see, maybe I'll use some of those just as something to sit here off to the side in case I need a little bit something extra on my finished layout. So I'm going to go ahead and start by using the stencil and some white cardstock and getting that started, getting that going on my layout, and then come back to the stamping and such. All right, let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start out with the stenciling. This is baby pink Altenew ink, in case you're interested, and I have taped the stencil to my white scrapbook paper with Post-it tape. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my Picket Fence Life Changing Blender brush to get a beautiful stenciled flower image onto the top and onto the bottom of this layout. I love, love, love Picket Fence Life Changing brushes. They're my favorites. I adore them. So if you're interested in knowing what I think of them, there you go. Now I'm going over my initial stenciled image with Puffy Heart. Again, this is from Altenew ink. And the way this stencil works is you start with that top image and you stencil it down in a light color. Then you take a dark color and you flip the stencil around and you stencil it again, and with the dark color. And it gives the stenciled image beautiful detail that I just love. You could totally use a really small stencil brush and go ahead and do like the greens and the different colors. For this layout, I just wanted to do a two-tone kind of simple stenciling, because I am definitely going to be using some of my stamped images. And a lot of this, I knew going in that a lot of my stenciling, the stenciling is going to act as like the base. And while you can definitely see it on the finished layout, it's not it's not so prominent that I feel like I needed to really do a lot with it, like make it really all different colors. But you certainly can if you want to. So I'm going to pull the Post-it tape off, and then we're going to set that aside. It doesn't really need to dry. It's just dye-based ink. But I want to do my stamping next. Oh, and I'm going to do, the other side of the paper. I'm going to stencil that too. And I'm going to wipe my stencil with baby white. So now I'm going to show you a cool trick you can do with some stamping. I wanted this stamp to have almost like a watercolory feel. I didn't want the image to be completely solid. I wanted it to be darker on the inside, lighter on the outside. So what I'm doing is I am stamping liberally with my green stamp just down the center of this leafy piece, and then I'm taking my life-changing brushes again and just moving the ink out to the edges. And this gives your stamping this kind of like cool watercolor effect that I think was just perfect for this, that I decided this would be just perfect for this layer. I didn't want a solid image. Because we have the stenciling, stencils you can kind of see through it, and that's kind of how I wanted this to go. I didn't want it to be a really, I almost wanted it to look stenciled, if that makes sense at all. And so instead of getting the full like strong pigment look. Now I'm taking the flowers from that stamp set, and I stamped them using the 2 colors of ink that I used to stencil. And I'm just going to go ahead now, and I'm going to, again, use my amazing life-changing brushes. And I'm just going to stencil or ink up right over the flowers. And again, this gets the ink, that look of like a more stenciled watercolor type of a image, right? Okay, so there are both my leaf sets I'm going to use, my flower sets, and now I'm going to kind of pop off camera quick and fussy cut all this stuff out. So now it's time to get this layout put together. I'm going to go ahead and start with the stamped pieces, and I'm going to cut my papers down that I need to put underneath my picture and to map my picture. So I'm going to map my picture in this pretty pink paper, and then I'm going to cut down the mirrored cardstock, the coppery mirrored cardstock, and I'm going to cut just a strip of that floral paper with the yellow. This layout is not completed yet, so just an aside, like an FYI, this layout is not completed yet. So when you see the pictures at the end and all that, there's no journaling. There's a spot set aside for journaling, but honestly, I did this layout late at night, and I was not feeling the journaling. I want to do type journaling, and I have an idea of what I want to say, but I haven't figured it out yet exactly. So I will at a later date add the journaling in. But as I continue on with the layout, I'll show you, where I want to do the journal, where I want to put the journaling in, things like that. But I just wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. And sometimes that happens, and I'm not going to, I have said this before, and I'll say it again, don't force your journaling. If it's there, it's there. If you know you want it to be there at some point, leave an empty space on your layout for it. Enjoy your creative process. Some days you'll feel like writing, some days you won't, and that's okay. I'm using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to get these little leaf sprigs down where I want them. I want to layer things on top of them, and they're really delicate. Like once I had them fussy cut, they're very delicate, and I just did not want to, I didn't want to run the risk of having them pop up or tear or catch on anything in my scrapbook when I put them in a page protector or for anything else. So I used the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and made sure that they were really stuck down to the page. And now I'm going to add the flowers. So for the flowers, I'm making them super simple. I'm going to put 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, and I'm just going to pop them up with pop dots. So I went ahead and tucked that doily up underneath my photo, and I'm going to put my stamped title there on my picture. So or not on the picture, on the doily. So what I'm going to do is I cut the S off of the Moments stamp, which is fine because if I ever want to add it back on, it's no big deal. They put it back on the block, line it up, you're good to go. I am totally fine cutting stamps. Just keep all your pieces. So I'm going to title this layout Capturing This Moment instead of Moments. And I'm going to line it up exactly where I want it, and I'm going to free range stamp this. So I'm going to use an acrylic block instead of my stamp positioner for no other reason than, again, it was late at night. I was being lazy, truth be told. And I figured if I inked up the stamp really, really well, I could do it. These stamps weren't new stamps. They've been stamped before. And I trusted myself, I guess. And plus, I figured if I messed it up, I could pull the doily up and flip it over, and no one would know. Anyway, so I went ahead, and it turned out quite well, actually. Perfect, right? Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I just want to add a couple of little details to this layout. Nothing big. This layout ends up being very clean and kind of simple. I pulled in the flares that I had set aside that I wanted to use, and I actually added in a third one. And then I have these beautiful felt hearts. Believe it or not, there were more in that package than I thought. I thought for sure I was going to use all the hearts up, but I didn't. I still have 3 left that I can put on another layout, so that's awesome. But I used up some of the flare from my kit, so super excited about that. And then these are the sequins I'm going to use, and oh, my my media mat was like, I don't know, I don't think the table I'm on is flat. I think over the years of scrapbooking on it, it's kind of got like this warpiness to it, so I was having trouble. My mat didn't want to stay like sturdy. It kept tilting, so I'm just going to go, I shoved some cork under there, now it's all good. I'm going to add the sequins. So part of the sequin mix are these beautiful copper flowers, and I'm making sure to add lots of those copper flowers because I really, the copper that's in the sequin mix matches the copper that's on that mirrored cardstock that I used, and so I was really wanting to like make sure we have that color like all the way through. So I'm just going to sequin. I'm going to add lots of cute little clusters of sequins all through the floral areas, and it looks beautiful. At the end, this layout looks so pretty, and I just think it's really simple, but it's really, really pretty, and I like it a lot. It has that simple elegance look that I really enjoy when I can create using that style. So in case you're wondering where the journaling is going to go, I'm going to type it up and I'm going to cut it into journaling strips, and it will be directly underneath the title. You'll see like there's that open space beside the photo. That's where all the journaling will go. And that's where we are going to leave this one. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited. I'm halfway through my goal of getting this kit killed, and I feel like I am excited and happy, and I hope you've been enjoying this as well. Here are lots of beautiful close-ups, and I will see you all again. Let's say today's Saturday. You'll see me Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.